Chair recognizes the gentleman from Michigan for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The amendment I am offering today addresses the most pressing concern of my constituents who have problems with the National Flood Insurance Program, and that problem is inaccurate flood maps. I certainly understand that the NFIP is on shaky financial ground, and I commend Chairman Baucus and Congresswoman Biggert and the Financial Services Committee for their work in crafting this bill. But as we vote today to put the NFIP on a path to solvency, we must not let this opportunity to strengthen the program pass us by. Since I returned to Congress in January, my office has been barraged with letters and phone calls expressing concerns about the new and revised flood insurance rate maps that FEMA is rolling out in my district. These maps determine whether property owners will be required to purchase flood insurance, and evidence shows that the current mapping methods are oftentimes inaccurate and onerous or punitive. And while this insurance represents an essential lifeline to some property owners who face real risk of flood damage, it is a costly, unnecessary mandate on those who face no actual threat of being flooded. I'm encouraged that the underlying bill, H.R. 1309, establishes a technical mapping advisory council to review the current mapping standards and propose revised standards to be implemented by the FEMA administrator within 12 months of organization. The TMAP is required to report to Congress and the administrator on how to improve mapping methodology. H.R. 1309 clearly instructs the TMAC on their task, and that is to ensure that the flood insurance rate maps reflect true risk, that the most current and accurate data is used. I look forward to receiving this report from TMAC and for the administrator's implementation of the new mapping standards. But in my view, this review is a tacit admission that the current practices are not working and represent a poorly implemented government mandate that cannot continue. The maps FEMA has been rolling out across the country are not based on best information available, and this needs to stop. My amendment improves on the work of TMAC, simply requiring that while the TMAC studies the best possible mapping methods, none of our constituents will be at risk of inclusion in a new map that uses the faulty, questionable methods currently in place. Simply put, this amendment would implement a moratorium on the issuance of new flood maps until the TMAC has done its due diligence and issued a report on new mapping standards. I'm glad to have the support of Chairman Baucus, and I ask that you support me in voting for this common sense amendment. I yield back the balance of my time.